doctor. I have these like transparent floating things in front of my eyes. I think I have cataracts.
All right, calm down. Let me explain to you a little bit about how the eye works. Light enters the front of the eye through the cornea and then passes through the hole called the pupil, which is controlled by the iris. Light then passes through the lens, which can change shape to focus on different things, and then the light is projected onto the back of the eye, which is called the retina, where the light is picked up by photoreceptors. There are two kinds. Rods, which are very sensitive to light, but they can only see in black and white, and cones, which are less sensitive, but they can see in color. One potential theory as to why we can see in color is called the opponent process theory. This theory states that opposing retinal processes enable color vision. For example, some cells are stimulated by green and inhibited by red. Once the photoreceptors pick up the light, they are turned into neural impulses, and they leave through the optic nerve, where they are routed through the thalamus, and then to the occipital lobe, where they are processed. Two problems with vision are called nearsightedness, in which the lens focuses more on closer objects and makes further objects harder to see, and farsightedness, in which the eye focuses on further objects and makes the closer objects harder to see. What you're experiencing are called eye floaters. Sometimes this gel-like substance in the eye, called the vitreous, will break free and float in the eye, casting shadows on the retina. It's perfectly normal. There's nothing wrong with you. There are three different aspects to the color we see. The hue, which is determined by the wavelength of the electromagnetic wave, the intensity, which is the amplitude, and then the saturation, which is how pure the color is, how little of other colors are mixed in with it.
It's high frequencies and now they're just gone. I'm pretty sure I have conduction hearing loss.
Conduction hearing loss. Well, conduction hearing loss is normal for most people. But we can talk about how the ear works.
Hearing begins with the outer ear, auricle/pinna, picking up sound. Those vibrations then travel down the auditory canal. They then hit what is known as the tympanic membrane or eardrum. Problems such as rupturing with this structure can cause conductive hearing loss. The eardrum is where sound is converted from vibrations to amplified pressure waves. Hammer, anvils, and stirrups also help with this function. Once the amplified pressure waves pass through the ossicles, they then enter the cochlea, where they are converted into neural impulses. After that, they travel up the vestibular and cochlear nerves, where they enter the brain. Frequency is the number of waves that pass a fixed point in a certain unit of time, usually seconds. Humans can normally hear from 20 Hz to 20,000 Hz. Amplitude is a measurement of a wave's change over a period of time. Pitch is a perceptual property of sounds that allows their ordering on a frequency-related scale. The types of hearing loss are conductive hearing loss, which is caused by problems with the eardrum or tympanic membrane, sensory neural hearing loss resulting from missing or damaged sensory cells, hair cells in the cochlea, and neural hearing loss results from the absence of or damage to the auditory nerve.
I have hypoglycemia and hyposmia. I can't barely taste or smell anything.
You have a cold, don't you?
No.
Well, let me explain to you a little bit about how the nose and the mouth works. Taste is a chemical sense made up of the five sensations of sweet, sour, salty, bitter, and umami. Inside your mouth are millions of taste buds that contain a pore that catch food chemicals and transmit messages to the brain. There's a well-known myth, the tongue map myth, that says different parts of your tongue catch different sensations, but that's not true. Every pore can catch every sensation. Smell is another chemical sense. 5 million receptor cells at the top of each nasal cavity pick up chemicals in the air and then transmit the messages to the olfactory bulb in the brain. The olfactory bulb contains a direct hotline to the limbic center of the brain, giving smell the power to evoke memories and feelings. Smell and taste interact a lot to give us flavors. The reason that you can't smell and taste so well right now is because you have a cold. Your nasal cavities are blocked up.
Mentioned in the video is the skin sense or touch. Touch is a mixture of 4 distinct skin senses. These distinct senses are warmth, pressure, cold, and pain. The interactions of these 4 senses help give our body a more complete picture. Pain is something or a way that our body tells us that something has gone wrong. It usually results in the damage of skin or tissue. The gate control theory is a proposal that the spinal cord has neurological gates that either block or allow pain. There are many influences of pain. Biological, or the spinal cord large and small fiber differences in endorphin production and brain interpretation of the central nervous system activity. Psychological influences is the attention to pain, learning based on experience, and expectation of pain relief. The social cultural influence is the presence of others or empathy for others' pain and cultural expectations. And then the last one is the influence of personal experience of pain. People believe that humans only have 5 senses. In actuality, we have more. Kinesthesis is a sense of body parts, position, and movement. For example, if your arm is placed behind your head, you still know exactly in what position it is. Vestibular sense, it monitors the balance through head and body in relative position. For example, the fluid in your ears help equalize you when you're standing on an unbalanced object like a boat.